Yeah, well, we'll jump into it at 6:30. Hi, everybody. Sue Alverson, the Development Director at the National Home, and I've got Megan Mitchell, our event coordinator. And I won't let her loose from these meetings, so she likes to jump on and help, and I appreciate it. So we're going to Megan's going to go over some basic Zoom housekeeping real quick.
Well, you all know the drill, folks. We've been doing this a long time, but we do ask once we get started here that you go ahead and mute, use that hand raise function. It'll be located down at the bottom of your screen where it says reactions. Click that, use the hand raise if you have questions. We're going to open it up to Q&A at the end, like always. And if you have questions that you're afraid you're going to lose, that come up, go ahead and throw them in chat, and I'll be monitoring that as well. I can answer some of them as we go along, but if they're specific to one of the other presenters, then I will hand it over to them at the end and help field those questions. All right, thanks.
Perfect, thank you. So tonight I wanted to introduce, we have a couple new staff in the development department, some positions that we've been talking about for a long time to really help move the place forward as we keep up with Mr. Michael Wilson. And so Brennan is on, he was on camera. I don't know where he went, but hopefully he can hear me and he'll jump on, and there he is. So Brennan, and I don't see Brian on yet. He did have today off, so hopefully he'll jump on. But Brennan and Brian were just hired a month ago today. And I'm going to let Brennan introduce himself, and then I'll go ahead and talk about Brian if he doesn't jump on. So go ahead, Brennan, introduce yourself and where you've been and what you do, please.
Hey everybody, my name's Brennan Lally. A little bit about myself. I was born and raised in Jackson, Michigan. For those of you, it's the little spot right in the middle. 2009 graduated, joined the Army. I was in the Army for close to 10 years. 7 of those were active. The other 3 were kind of reservish. I was working as a financial technician, deployed from Iraq, and then deployed to Europe. I did work with NATO. And then from there on, I kind of was trying to find my way, what I wanted to do when I grew up. And then I went and worked for a bank for a while, thought that was where I wanted to be. Stumbled across this phenomenal opportunity to work with the VFW National Home. I was like, well, hey, if they like me, cool. If I'm not a good spot, why not, but it just feels like a great place, and I'm really excited to grow and make that place even better. But on the personal life, I'm married to my lovely partner of 5 years this past Friday. And I have 2 little ones, a 6-year-old who's in 1st grade, and I coach her soccer team on weekends, and my terrible tyrant 2-year-old. I look forward to hopefully having you meet them all soon. And I look forward to growing and all the cool challenges we have ahead.
Cool. So Brennan, do you want to talk about what you're going to be doing there?
Oh yeah,
doing at the home?
of course. Yeah. So we decided to take this adventure on together, Sue, was grants and major gifts. So basically having someone dedicated to track down, process, apply, keep their fingers on the pulse of major gifts in looking for ways to bring money into the home so that we could continue to grow, expand, and have all those lovely programs that we have for all of our veterans at the home right now.
Perfect.
So we'll see what we can do. I'm excited about it.
Yeah, a little history with grants, and Kim, I know we've talked about it in the past. We've worked with some consultants in the past, and grants are just a tricky thing. It's just something that the home is never really focused on. We've always prided ourselves in not taking any federal money, because when you take state and federal money, there's a lot of back end work if you get a grant. So we're looking more for corporations and foundations that aren't so heavily laden in the backup work. And we also have a really unique, because of the home and the program, the program is deep in what we do, but it's difficult to have those statistical numbers that a lot of corporations and foundations look for. So it really comes to building relationships and having them come out to the home or learn more about the home if they're not local, so we can apply for additional money. Everybody knows in the nonprofit world, individuals are the ones that support nonprofit work. Corporations might help you get a project done, but you can't budget that for, it's not going to be sustainable. So there's a lot of opportunities, but it is connected with our planning for the future, and how we work that. So that's where Brennan is going to come in. And we've done some grant work, not a lot of it, but that's where we're starting. We're going back to the people that we've been successful with, building that relationship with them, introducing Brennan, and then being able to hopefully grow that relationship and then get more funding as details for projects are shared with us. So, and as far as major gifts, Nancy and I do a lot with individuals, and we'll pull Brennan into some of that too. Go ahead, Kim.
So, Brennan, do you have basically a target, some target corporations that you're going to start working on? I know that, there's huge national corporations. And I, as Sue said, we've talked about this for a long time, but we've never really had anybody that was dedicated. And if that's going to be your area, are you working on, and I'm sure, in a month, you've got all of this done already.
If it were that easy. I do have a couple target organizations that we have been working with in the past, a little bit more locally here. We have looked at some grant opportunities to kind of open the door, or at least have us talk to them. A couple of the Rotary clubs that were local, we've looked into. We've also started looking into the process with Trans Canada. They also have a facility close to the campus as well. I've been kind of thinking about some other veteran foundations that I've looked. There's I think the Bob Wagner Foundation, if I remember properly, they look to partner with things as well. I was just seeing if they fit the criteria of what we were looking for. Really, it's kind of just getting comfortable with some of our local resources, and then if we have the opportunity to go more national, which I am more than happy to open the door and talk to whomever and figure out what we can do, we'll do it. But as of right now, I'm kind of just trying to focus on local so I can get the practice down, and then we'll expand out further.
Well, and one thing that I think of is when the board meets, that's one thing I think that Sue has always stressed is the board has connections, has knowledge about companies, corporations in their own areas. And it's nice to have somebody to say, okay, here's this corporation. They are wonderful in supporting veterans. Contact them.
Oh yeah. And I like to call them leads, because with my finance background, that's what they are to me. If anyone has the opportunity for a lead, or if they have someone that they want me to reach out to, I'd be more than happy to do that. That's no issue to me whatsoever. Just to make like a warm call, like, hey, I got your information from so and so. I'd be more than happy to set up a FaceTime meeting, Zoom meeting, phone call, just so we can kind of see face to face, and then just go from there.
And there's companies, Home Depot, Lowe's, and we've had connections with them on a regional level here, but because of the staff constraints that we've had, that's why, we sat down and said, look, this is what we need to do, and find a dedicated person. And, I come from the place where if you find the right person, we can train them on what we need to do. It's, there's a lot of grant contractors, but that's really tough because they're never going to get to know you like an employee is going to get to know you. And I've worked with a couple since I've been there for 12 years. And, we've had a little bit of success. I mean, nothing that I reported back to the board that was phenomenal or anything, but again, I just wasn't able to do that follow-up and to do it justice. So that's really what we're focused on. And I feel like it was the right time because of Mike's leadership, because he does make it a priority. So we're pretty excited to have that backing. And Brennan will be working with Mike and with Bill Krieger, our veteran resource center manager. He knows a lot of people, a lot of companies. So I think there's going to be, I call it bird dogging, these guys out talking, with people, and then here's some leads. And then that's what Brennan's going to do, is follow it up, and he's going to build those relationships and stay on top of it. So we're pretty excited about it. Yes, Patrick?
Hey, is he a grant writer?
He has not done grant writing in the past. No.
Okay.
No.
All right.
Yep.
Thanks.
Yeah. Any other questions for Brennan?
I don't
Phoebe?
have a question, but I just want to say welcome aboard. We're happy to have you.
Oh, thank you. It's all been warm happiness ever since I walked in the door. I love it. I love the energy.
Welcome to the
So
family.
So the trustees that have been, or any of you that have been at the home, you know that my department is just a hallway, and it's always been Jerry and Nikki and Nancy and Megan was down there too, and myself. Well, Megan moved upstairs to the administrative floor, and so now we have Brennan and Brian. So we've had a change of chemistry down there, so it's been kind of fun the last month. So.
Oh, shoot. You're telling me, Sue. That been a blast.
Okay, so now I see Brian was able to join. Thank you, Brian, for joining us. Birthday. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
So I'll introduce Brian Daniels and let him tell you a little bit about himself and what he's doing at the National Home.
Okay. Oh, is it my turn?
Yep, go right
Oh,
ahead.
look who finally decided to show up.
Was it at 6:30? I think it was like 6:32. I just got home.
Oh, okay.
So my name is Brian Daniels. I am actually a VFW alumni. I lived in the Wisconsin House in 1997, 97, 98, 99. And after high school, I joined the military, served in Iraq, was injured in Iraq, and had to learn to walk again. I got out. Started teaching fitness, owned my own boxing gym for a while. I was on the Lansing City Council, and then Sue and I met in February, I believe, just to talk about a possibility of coming out and working at the home. And now I am the community development and alumni engagement manager. And I started the same day Brennan did. It's so wonderful to have him as a neighbor. And I am working on a couple of things. So one thing I'm working on is the house profiles. So I'm working on building relationships with Sue and Mike, with the sponsors, and creating the relationship so that we understand how to take care of the house, the homes the best way we can. Also, new creative ways of doing fundraising and special projects in each state. And just trying to develop the relationship with all the different districts and build off of that, and still learning that. So this is, a month today. So starting to take that in. And then the other aspect is the alumni relations aspect. And so I've already reached out on the VFW alumni Facebook group, and have had a really warm reception. And there are a lot of people who want to get involved and don't necessarily know how. And having lived there myself, it's really easy from the outside to not remember that this is everything that these people have ever had. For some people, they grew up there, their whole lives were there, and so it's home for them. And so we haven't necessarily all been able to maintain a connection with the home, the different administrations and people who have been there, and just the way things have been with the culture that Mike has built, that Mike and Sue have built. And, they're really welcoming of the alumni and want them to know that they're always welcome to come visit, and they want them to be a part of the home still and the culture. And so I'm working on developing that and building that, and looking at the 100th anniversary, making sure that we're able to get a lot of alumni back for that and involved, and make sure that people know that, we still care even though they're not there anymore. How's that, Sue?
Perfect. That's perfect.
Good.
So again, everybody I think is familiar with, I know the trustees that are on are familiar with our house sponsorship program. And it started many, many years ago. And there are some agreements, and then there's just some pieces of paper. There's some that there's nothing for. And again, we've never had, it is a full-time job to get into these trenches, basically,
Yeah.
and figure out, what's the best. We're not gonna call it an agreement anymore. We're gonna call it a pledge. Anyway, Brian's gonna address the junior vice on Saturday at our junior vice orientation that's coming up, and we're just starting the conversation. So it's nothing that's going to happen overnight with anybody, but we do want to start that conversation, and we're hammering out the details, and then Brian will be responsible for making those connections to all the different departments. And like I told him, it's like 50 different, or 42, I don't know how many exactly. 40, I think, are department sponsored. But anyway, every department runs a little bit different and has a little bit different, ways that they do things. So it's quite a undertaking, but he's jumped right in. And again, Brian and I work together. He may even look familiar to you. He was on the VFW magazine cover in 2020. He's been gracious enough to share his story and to help promote the National Home and a couple other videos. And it was just a really, I think it was kind of a natural progression here. And I had Brian in mind when Mike said, we got to do something to this, because I wouldn't ever quite, I don't have, the ownership over this house sponsorship, that somebody needs to have ownership over it. So yeah, and it's been something that's going on, and we're addressing it. So it's going to take some time, but like Brian said, we're working on house profiles and figuring out, okay, what exactly is a sponsorship going to cost? We definitely would like to get some corporations. If there are some departments that are basically in the red on their houses, we will work with them the best that we can, but if somebody can't swing it, then they can't swing it, and we'll need to look for new sponsors eventually. And I won't get into any of those details, who it is, but we're in talks with the two that are really struggling, and they've struggled for a long time. We've just never really dealt with it. So and when we have a full-fledged process, then we will. And of course, the board will be talking about it with you. Questions? Kim?
I'm happy to be working with Brian, because that's one of the things that the board is committed to this year, is to get the
Awesome.
house sponsorship agreements, get them
Yes.
done, get them cleaned up, and to where they're all uniform.
Yes,
And
thank
part
you.
of the issue is that we do have departments that are struggling, and we have other departments that would like to sponsor a home but can't afford to do the whole thing. And so we might wind up doing 2 or 3 departments sponsoring a house. So that's and that's certainly an option that we've been looking at for quite a while. So welcome aboard. I'm going to be happy to meet you.
Thank you very much.
Any other questions for these two?
This is Sandy. I just wanted to welcome Brian to the team. It sounds exciting, and we're looking
you.
forward to both of you doing a great job for the home. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
They're keeping us happy, Sandy. Any other questions? Kim, did you have another question? Okay. Megan, we were just gonna do a briefing on where we are with 2025. Do you want to kick that off, Megan?
Yeah. So as you know, next year we have a bunch of different events in the works for celebrating our 100th anniversary. As far as messaging for you guys as you're out talking about the home and promoting our 100th anniversary, there's 3 major events that are a big fit. A good fit for anyone to attend. So we have a gala that we're going to be doing in February of 2025, February 8th. That's going to be held in Lansing. It's going to be a formal black tie event. It's, it's not necessarily a fundraising event, but there are going to be some fundraising parts of it.
Activity?
Yeah, activities happening at it. And that's something that anyone can attend. It will be ticketed, but there will be more details made available online as those are getting fleshed out. Another is our carnival, our community celebration that we're hosting in June of 2025. And that's going to be a carnival, live entertainment, food trucks, just lots of really cool components to that. And it's open again to anyone who wants to attend. That's the main event that I'm really encouraging people to come out to, because it's so going to be family friendly. You can bring your kids, grandkids. It'll be a really good time. And then the last would be just making you aware of convention next year. We're going to be having some bus trips of people coming up from not Columbus. Sue, where's it at again?
Yeah.
It is Columbus. Okay.
Yeah. You
So
got Lexington on your brain.
I do.
Or Louisville, I mean. We don't know.
So we're going to be doing some bus trips that people can hop on in Columbus, take a day trip up to the National Home, tour it, do some programming, and just something to be aware of as you're making your plans for convention next year, that's something that we are going to have going on that anyone can attend. Yeah, there's going to be a couple other things that are going to be a little smaller, a couple things that are more of a photo op really than an event. But yeah, we're going to be celebrating every month. So.
Perfect. What was I going to say about that? Did anybody participate when, I know they did the buses from, I believe it was Indianapolis. It was before I started, so it was more than 12 years ago, but they did bus trips. I think 1 day or 2 days. I know we have to be, we got to talk to VFW and the auxiliary, because we don't want to step on any of their programming, of course, but it was a huge success. People got on the bus and they had people talking about the home and training every so often, showing a video on the way up, and then they came up and did a tour and had lunch, and they were able to put their feet on the ground basically. And as everybody knows, once you've been there, thank God for Zoom and all of that, because at least we can show and connect and talk about it. But the more people we can get there, the better. But it's just not always feasible. It's just not the way it is. So did you do that, Sandy? Do you remember the bus trip?
I do remember, and they were very, very successful. I wasn't able because they had me working, but
Gotcha.
but definitely they were very successful. And when people came back, they couldn't stop talking about it.
Yeah,
So,
that's great.
absolutely.
Yeah, so that's great. Just because it's as close as convention is, we as far as the distance, we just thought, well, maybe let's do a reenactment of that and get people on campus. So that's what we're hoping.
Well, it's a perfect time too, because that's where the VFW started. Was
Yeah,
in Columbus, Ohio.
yeah,
So you're killing 2 birds with 1 stone then.
that's great.
Yep.
That's great.
Well, and the other thing, and the other plus is they're so close, it saves, that's a trip. They've already spent a whole lot of money to go to the national convention, and it's like, this is a bonus.
Yeah, no, that's true. That is true. Any other general questions? As far as some census numbers, we have 42 homes on campus. We have 40 that are filled. We have 2 that are available. I know we do have some move outs this summer. So again, reach into your communities, help us find those veterans that, need this resource. We always appreciate that. We have 153 total residents right now. 95 children and 58 parents. Um,
Are you guys set to a limit anymore?
I'm sorry?
Are you guys set for a limit of people living out there?
Well, we have 42 available homes.
Okay, there used to be a limit, like, I think 199 or something like that.
No. No.
Nope. Oh,
Nope.
good. Good.
Any other general questions? Yeah, Darla.
Do you know how many bricks are sold so far yet? For the Centennial Garden?
Oh, I
haven't.
don't off the top of my head. 120 comes to mind.
Well, I thought it was 200 last month.
It was,
Then
I
I'll
have
say
it right
no.
Jerry
I'll
had
say
told
no, I
me
don't know.
Okay.
Jerry had told me
And the-
200.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
good.
Excuse me?
200.
It is 200?
Yeah, it was about
200.
200 last month. So
I got
we-
221.
Oh,
That's what I have right here.
yeah, I don't track it that close.
Oh, well, be a buddy poppy, I have to. So,
And the Centennial pins, when will them get mailed out?
We're in the process of printing those right now.
Okay.
and can I promote that? The
Yeah.
Centennial pin.
Help us promote the Centennial brick. We've
Oh,
got
okay,
we got 1,000 of them to place.
okay. And they're
And
Well,
$500
at our
a piece.
convention, I'm putting the challenge out. So, and you should be getting some more.
Awesome.
Hey, Ohio's got to do it. I'm telling you, we're going to fill it up
Awesome.
with Ohio.
Well, they'll do it. I believe you. Kim?
I see a lot of people on, that are emailing and posting on Facebook that they've got their Centennial membership card.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that's I think is a big, big deal for the Centennial.
Right.
Bought
Yeah.
mine, but I don't have the things yet.
Yeah, we're
Good
just
deal.
getting the packages put together. It was kind of, we were waiting on all the pieces to come together. And that's why we had to push it off till April. And
Yeah,
Nancy was printing away today.
I bet she was.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Yeah.
What's the status on the convenience store?
We're still, that's, it's still in the fundraising process. You've got this year is, Carla and Dwayne are doing the Welcome Center. They're still fundraising for it. And then the following class, well, not the following class,
No, this, right,
This class,
yeah, this
the
class.
vice class has it as a project.
right.
There you go. Yep. And there, we've got like 3 back-to-back projects. So right now, I think they're trying just not to step on each other's toes as the years, come, as they change. Because we got Darla and Dwayne, and then Brenda and Al, and then Carol and Lois. So we've got 3 back-to-back projects. So they're still all in the fundraising stages.
Okay.
Is
Yeah.
the house that you guys are remodeling, you tore down and is are they gonna start that project this spring and summer?
Yeah, we just talked about that. The
Mm.
house should be placed, or should be, there completed, I should say, by the middle of fall is the best that they can.
Oh, wow, okay.
Um,
Everybody keeps calling me,
yeah.
like, I know.
You're talking about the Pollitt House, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yep. Yep, contractors are, been a challenge from what I hear.
Yay.
Yeah. Well, it means the economy's, keeping them busy. Any other questions? All right, I wanted to just, we've talked a little bit about, at this point, we are going to suspend these monthly meetings, these monthly Zoom meetings. We're entering into an extremely busy time with events, weekends, evenings, that kind of thing. I want to encourage you to follow us on Facebook and share that, the posts, and there's some great blogs. We've just got some great stuff, that we're able to share. So please share that within your departments, the events, and of course, contact us with any questions that you have. If you have anything that you need, shoot an email to Megan or myself. And we will handle it accordingly. And then we'll see how the rest of how we're sitting in the fall to see. We've been doing these meetings for a couple years and haven't. I guess my hopes was we were going to build, have more people join it. So I feel like Megan and I were talking, and we feel like we kind of gone through the same trainings and sharing kind of a lot of the same information, but I feel like we've connected in a different way, and that you feel free to contact us, and that's the whole idea, is just to know that your trustees are there, and that that we're certainly there to answer any questions or get any reports. And the best way is just to send an email. That way we have a paper trail of it. Yeah, Kim.
If you have any questions or need anything for your conventions, reach out to your trustees. That's something that they need to be doing and will be doing, but we're kind of spread a little thin for conventions. Some of them are 2 or 3 on the same weekend. So just reach out and they'll get you what they can.
Thank you.
Also, state conventions are a great time to get a hold of the club groups to get your Centennial bricks in, along with the Centennial pin. That's a good time to push it.
For sure. Yep. And if you need any supplies, give us an email or go to the website. And where's that, Megan? Is that under how you can help? Order promotional material?
Yeah, it is under You Can Help, and then order promotional items, and then you can just fill out your quantities and we'll mail them to you.
But we'd like to thank you for joining us on these Zoom meetings. I think they've been really informational. And again, we're just gonna suspend them for a while and just see. We just got a crazy at least a year and a half coming up. But if we feel like there's something that would be very beneficial to maybe open up a platform to talk a little bit more, we'll do that. That's, we have no problem doing that. But again, we appreciate everything you folks do for us. It's just a great time to be part of the National Home for sure, because I really think we're making history, and we're gonna just keep pushing forward, and we appreciate it. All right. Everybody good?
I
All right.
wanted to remind you
Are the
all
brick
that
forms, the new brick forms, are they on your website?
They
Yeah.
are.
Mhm.
And the pins are for the membership? Okay, good.
And the
I'm gonna try to look 'em
applications.
up. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yep.
Thank
I
you,
just-
Sue, so much for holding these meetings, and Megan. They've been very productive and effective, and I noticed that there are a lot of the junior vice and the senior vice and National Home chairman on, and that's a good thing.
Yep. I just want to remind everyone that this has been recorded, and I will be sending the recording out probably Monday, maybe tomorrow, but probably Monday. And you can share that with anyone that you think could use this information.
There's 3 chats. Megan, did we address those?
Yeah, yep.
Okay.
2
All
of them
right.
are me.
Gotcha. All right. Thanks again, everybody. We really appreciate you, and have a great spring, and we'll see you soon.
Bye.
Bye-bye.